السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت، وعافنا فيمن عافيت، وتولنا فيمن توليت، وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت، وقنا شر ما قضيت، فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك، إنه لا يذل من واليت ولا يعز من عاديت، تباركت ربنا وتعاليت، فلك الحمد على ما قضيت، نستغفرك اللهم ونتوب إليك. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا، وانفعنا بما علمتنا، وزدنا علما، وارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم، والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Mashallah, everybody, welcome. Now, we are ready to listen to Anne to present us, to remind us what we have been doing since last week about this subject, very interesting subject, the names of God, the perfect, the most beautiful names of God, as it is known. So we are ready to listen to Anne.
Inshallah, thank you. So the name of this new flash is the 30th flash. And we started the first point. In this flash, Nursey discusses 6 names. And the first name that we discussed last week and today will be the divine name, Most Holy Al-Qudus. And the chapter, the flash starts with Surah 51, ayat 48. And the earth, we have spread out the earth, and how well we have ordered it. So before I start, there was an interesting question in the discussion last week about what is the criteria for the most essential names, since they're actually all essential. And the answer was that different scholars have different interpretations, and Nursey has 6 names in this flash, and it's my understanding that the most essential names criteria depends on your perception. But we're going to start with the one chosen by Nursey, which is Al-Qudus. So we learned last week how incredibly clean, how incredibly pure the earth is kept, how spotless, with not a single piece of dirt to be found, not a random piece of dirt to be found, as the text says. That is to say, without human interference. If there is a random piece of dirt to be found, if there is apparently, it is quickly thrown into a transformation machine and cleaned. So what that transformation machine means is all the specialized creatures like ants and centipedes and bacteria, in fact, clean the earth through breaking down the organic components. And without that, we would be living in a uh, uh, filth and debris. So it's remarkable how this transformation machine works. And we talked about how dirt is in fact human made. So there's nothing random, nothing without benefit. Um, and this also means that the one who looks after this factory of the earth, this hostel, this guest house, does so extremely, extremely well. It's in fact quite remarkable considering how much debris needs to be processed. Um, and um, there's a passage right before we stopped, which I love the poetry of it. Just as a bird cleans its wings with ease and ascribe, sorry, just as a bird cleans its wings with ease, so too the wings of the heavenly bodies and the pages of the books of the universe are cleaned and made beautiful. So much so that even people who do not consider the infinite beauty of the hereafter and think with belief in the creator, those, that is to say, those people who are not believers love the cleanliness and beauty and they worship it. And that's where we left off.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, they worship the beautiful things, but they don't consider who made it beautiful. Unconscious beings, they don't think, unfortunately. So they have to worship the one who made them beautiful. So simple, but everybody is free to choose. It is not a matter of reasoning problem. I don't think so. It is not a matter of comprehension problem, capacity to understand problem. It is a matter of intention, I believe. I don't know. What do you think? That,
Um, uh, what do you mean by intention of the unbelievers?
yeah, not because they didn't understand. No, they don't want to. That's why they look at
Oh,
the
they
other.
don't want to. It's not that they can't.
No, correct.
Then you can't really get past that.
Yeah. So we not referring to any person, but the unbelief, denial, which is named in the Quran, or the word for it is inkar, munkir, kafir, which means knowingly covering up the truth. We don't know about people, but in its essence, denial only be possible knowingly preference. If someone doesn't know and doesn't realize, doesn't have the capacity to understand, he cannot deny. He doesn't know. We have to understand that not everybody in the street is a denier because they don't know. But if they really want to know, they have to question, find out the truth, and resist against it. But most of the people, practically speaking, They don't take notes of anything. They are neglectful people. We can't told we cannot tell them they are deniers. In order to deny, we have to know what we are rejecting. So neglectful people, ignorant people are different, but to be labeled for for a for an attitude, we have to say knowingly denying it. So denying can only be possible through intention, not wanting to submit themselves, their existence, to a creator. That is the definition of the denying. Did it make sense?
Yes, I think it's helpful to periodically remind us what the definition of denier is.
A conscious choice
Yes,
must be.
it's very useful.
Yeah. But most of the people don't deny, neither they believe in, because they are neglectful. We don't know about people, but we have to know the definition of denying. So if someone says you are a denier, it means really it's a big claim.
Hmm.
Whether it's a neglectful people, not believing because he doesn't really think about it and come to a conclusion, either confirm it or deny it. That is the choice. Negligence is the choice of negligence. Not negligence is not choice of denying. There is a difference. Okay.
Okay,
Inshallah, we can continue
inshallah.
to, uh, to read for today if there is no other comment.
Bismillah. That is to say, this palace of the world and factory of the universe display a greatest manifestation of the divine name, most holy, whereby it is not only the carnivorous cleaners of the sea and the eagles of the land which obey the commands proceeding from that sacred cleansing, but also its cleansing officials which gather up corpses like worms and ants. Like the red and white blood corpuscles flowing in the body, obey those sacred commands and do the cleaning in the body cells, so does breathing purify and clean the blood
Everywhere.
everywhere,
Yeah.
micro, macro.
This cleansing Quddus. I think we may talk about this cleansing in the universe, in existence, about the word Quddus. Does it remind you this Masjid Quds, Masjid Quds?
Oh, the name of the, yeah,
Yeah,
you're
Quds,
right. I never thought about that.
and the mosque in Qudus.
It's not an accident, right?
No, no, no. But it is, excuse me, it is translated as far away masjid, especially those people who while they are speaking about ascension of the prophet. from Masjid al-Haram ila Masjid al-Aqsa. So far away, but it's Qudus. So Masjid al-Aqsa far away. So Masjid al-Quds also, the name is, I don't think it is an accident. Masjid al-Aqsa, the faraway masjid, is explained as Quds, Masjid al-Quds, in Quds.
So it's the same.
Yeah. So it means far away from any blemish, any dirt. It is so clean. Masjid al-Aqsa represents historically the uh, the prophets mentioned in the Quran, and all the prophets prayed there. That is what usually the historians tell us. And during the ascension of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, from Masjid Haram, it was in Mecca, to Masjid Aqsa, where it is in the Qudus. So there, it is explained in this way. He, the Prophet, performed prayer, and all the prophets, they say it is most probably, if not really, but most probably symbolically teaching something. All the prophets behind him, he performed the prayer as an imam, and then from there taken to heavens. That is what physical description of its ascension is. But we are not talking about ascension and it is physical or spiritual. That is not the subject now. Well, but we may study maybe later on what this ascension is. It's an interesting subject. But what it represents, the Quran so far, or at least so far, is the last revelation. What does it mean? Because all the revelations sent to the prophets are essentially teaching the same message. So the Quran is the last revelation. What does it mean? Includes all the messages of the previous prophets that they received. Now, all the message that God sent to the prophets, since they are essentially the same, so they always bring the news about the perfect names, essential, or the perfect names, beautiful names, names of perfection of God, that taught to human beings. So this message is pure, clean, has no blemish, no dirt at all. So it is represented, it is named, this masjid where all the prophets prayed behind Muhammad, as Qudus, Masjid Aqsa in Qudus. So this area is Muqaddas. They call it sacred. Sacred means where pure message was revealed. So this word, the same root, Quddus, Qudus, and Muqaddas, this same word, they come from the derivations from the same root. It means the message brings to us all the revelation, all the prophets, with no dirt, no discrepancy, no blemish in it, and all the prophets are immune from any kind of accusations. So this masjid represents uh, the name of most holy. It means holy means nothing, I mean, no blemish in it, in it. If I could explain it. So the universe, in the creation side of the universe, you cannot find any discrepancy at all, any dirt, any unnecessary being. Everything is purposefully created and functioning a perfect mission, declaring their creator as to be the most holy. It means nothing missing from his qualities. So every being in the existence of this universe manifests this reality. Here our subject is the most holy, and the way the things are created demonstrate that their creator is the most holy one. It means pure, with nothing shortcomings, nothing missing. Uh, if this was like this, it would be much better. No, we cannot say that. Everything is perfect in their creation. Yep. Shall we
Yes.
continue, or would you
Yes.
like to
Oh
make?
no, thank you. That's a beautiful explanation. I did not know about the root of the masjid being the same as the
Yeah,
first holy name. Thank you.
Kudus. Yeah.
Bismillah. And as eyelids obey the command to clean the eye and flies to brush their wings, so the extensive atmosphere and the clouds obey it. The air blows upon the pieces of dust and soil settled on the surface of the earth and cleans it. The sponges of the clouds sprinkle water on the garden of the earth and dampen the dust and soil. Then, so as not to dirty the sky, the air quickly collects the earth's rubbish and withdraws and hides itself with perfect orderliness. It displays the beautiful face and eye of the skies as swept and polished, all sparkling and shining. Do you want me to read what you put in blue? You added
Yeah,
something about AI.
yes.
So this is how AI explains this process. Plants take in carbon dioxide from the air through tiny openings in their leaves. With the help of sunlight and water, they use this carbon dioxide to make their own food in a process called photosynthesis. This food, in the form of sugars, helps the plant grow, produce leaves, stems, roots, and eventually fruits. So while carbon dioxide is not directly turned into fruit, it is an essential ingredient that helps the plant grow and produce fruits.
Do you get surprised how they speak?
Oh, it's very accurate, actually.
No. Uh, that's the process. But have you noticed something here as related to this subject, to this one?
Oh, the lovers of cleanliness, even though they're not they don't consider that there's a creator behind it.
They worship the
Yeah.
process,
Mm.
but they don't question. And so, look, we have to stop and think about it. Look, plants take in carbon dioxide from the air. Look, plants are conscious beings. Take it. Agent is who is the agent? The one who's doing it,
The
taking the
plant.
carbon dioxide.
Well, it's not doing it by itself.
Plant, according to materialist
Right.
mind. Plants take it from the air through tiny processing in the leaves with the help of sunlight. Look, sunlight comes and water. They are interacting with each other. As if sun says, I'm coming to help you. Don't bother. Look, they use this carbon cycle. Look, they are together now. Plant, sunlight, and water, unconscious beings, they use carbon dioxide to make their own food. Now, food factory is using. How do they make this factory? To make their own food in process called photosynthesis. Look, they are acting much more clever than human beings, than even human beings cannot make it. Thousands of engineers cannot make it, but sunlight, water, and plant, the body of plant, can do it. They don't think about it. Is it possible that they are doing it? So look what else they are doing. How wonderful this sunlight and water. Look, you see the water, huh? You see water. It doesn't have a free will, doesn't have knowledge, communication means, power to do anything, think about the future. Now, they, look at the language, use these carbon dioxides. Okay, we read this. This food in the form of sugars, look, they turn it into sugar. Magic. Helps the plant grow. Look how they are arranging now. This sugar helps the plant to grow, produce leaves. Oh, they are making the leaves. There is another fabric producing machine there. How come? How they are happening there? So they produce leaves, stems, roots. They say, root, you go down. Stem, you go up. So you have to function this way. Root, you have to find out wet area, damp area. they are they they are crazy to use this language, and eventually they produce fruit now. So while look at this interesting, this is cleaning everything. While carbon dioxide is not directly turned into fruit, but it is an essential ingredient that helps the plant grow and produce fruits. It means carbon dioxide, poisonous stuff, produce fruits. Even human beings cannot produce. For how many thousands of years the people are working, they cannot do. They know, human beings, they try to understand this mysterious creation. They analyze everything, but they don't think that how these events are taking place by themselves, ultimately unconscious, dumb, blind, lifeless particle. How do they do that? It is really interesting knowing all these processes and not really thinking in even once how these unconscious beings are doing these wonderful things that even human beings cannot do. Impossible. None of billions of human beings can work, cannot make one fruit. Although technology developed so much, doesn't matter, cannot make one fruit. But unconscious matter, according to them, they are doing it. Plants taking carbon dioxide, plant do it. Unconscious. That I wanted to withdraw our attention to the language this materialist science use ruthlessly. We have to be alarmed about it. How can you use this language? Depends on people's intention. Okay. What do you think?
I will just add that um, this is very this is typically how photosynthesis is taught without an agent. Um, if you inserted an agent and you're in the public high school, for example, or in the college classroom, if you inserted an agent that or suggested that this isn't taking place without a creator, you would create a maelstrom of problems.
Fortunately, that's our reality.
Yeah, that's the reality.
You can speak atheist language. It is impartial when you use God, the creator. There must be a creator who did it. That is religious language.
Exactly. It's not impartial.
How about atheism is another nonsense, the most nonsense religious ideology. Most nonsense. Look at this language. Although the process they are talking about is correct, but who is the processor? They don't mention. When you don't mention about the processor, agent, you are fine, impartial. When you say there must be a maker, conscious creator, you are now uh, going into religious theology. It's not theology, it is the logic, human reasoning, nothing to do with theology. Anyways, this is the problem of our age, to me. That's why I quoted what AI said about it, how they
Yeah. And this is how it be explained in a biology textbook as well.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Also, it's not mentioned in this AI explanation, but because there's an incredible, amazing balance, um, because the humans exhale CO2, plants take it in, and then they release oxygen, which is what humans need. So it's this incredible exchange of vital elements. It's so perfectly arranged and perfectly balanced. It's just incredible, really.
That's we have to admit this is reality. So we say every morning fresh. Who's refreshing it? The unconscious, all these mechanisms, all these transformations need definitely a one who takes care of all of them at the same time. It is the creator of the universe, the absolute being. We have to say there must be an absolute being. What is wrong in saying that there is a God who created the universe? What's wrong with it? Why they don't want to mention it in the uh, schools? I,
Uh, I don't know the answer to that except to say that there, in this country, always been extremely in the public schools, strict separation of church and state. It's almost like a mantra. It cannot be violated.
but how about church and state? Now, church has its own stand. I mean, representing religion, representing belief in God, in fact, here. Belief in God. And state has belief in godlessness.
Yeah, exactly.
Why should I believe in godlessness? There is can you give me any reason to say that plants take in carbon dioxide? Can they? Do they know? Do they have free will? Power to do? Just plant. I can burn them. They have no free will. I can cut them. They are not ashamed of saying this language, using this language.
Oh, no, not at all. It's like a bedrock
Yeah.
of um the belief. It's a bedrock of the law in this country. In fact, I'm looking at Wikipedia now. The wall of separation between church and state was a term coined by Thomas Jefferson in 1802.
Mm. This is Jeff.
Jefferson said there has to be a wall of separation between church and state. And then the concept was promoted in the Enlightenment, as well by philosophers such as John Locke.
Mhm.
So it's not going to um, ever. I don't think it's ever going to become intertwined at all. Not in the United States, not in the West in general, I would say.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it will never be, it will, one day will come and people say we are not stupid to accept this kind of language.
I hope you're right.
Inshallah, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Because they are getting closer to the end that they cannot explain anything.
Mm.
Getting closer to this. They started saying that we don't know what's happening. Exactly, we cannot really explain how it is happening. But it is so, but it's not the solution. It is not the answer. So it is interesting that we have to watch out which kind of education we have been receiving and which kind of mind setting we have been indoctrinated and conditioned. So which we have to watch out for our language and be serious about it. When we read the Quran, Quran uses very severe language about denying. Everybody is aware of it, and some people even find it disturbing. So much so heavy language, description of the punishment for the people who uses this language deliberately and imposes it by force. Impose on people that you have to submit your children to this education and they have to be brainwashed with this kind of language so that they will get used to saying that, oh, it is happening in this way, air is cleaned in this way, eyelids are functioning by themselves, cleaning the eye, and wind is happening accidentally in this form, clouds are forming by themselves, and photosynthesis are taking with the help of the sunlight, water, and plant itself, and the air is the carbon dioxide turned into fruit through this process by this uh, unimaginable factory happened to be by itself. Inshallah, we are going to study this subject by giving reference from the Quran about how Quran understands and lets us know this DNA structure and what it is all about on Saturday, excuse me, Tuesday at 6 p.m., inshallah.
Oh, that will be interesting.
So I got the verses related to it, and they are so clean, so pure, so really comforting, relaxing. The what I understand from this deliberate insistence, I mean, this is a kind of dictatorship in ideology, not in a military dictatorship, in physical power, but ideological power is worse than physical power because ideological indoctrination destroys my spiritual life, whereas physical power destroys my bodily life, harms me in bodily. But ideological uh, totalitarianism or dictatorship uh, makes me feel stupid to say that air, sunlight, and unconscious, all of them, particles are working together and making this all the processes told in this blue writing by themselves, independently. Even the human beings cannot do it. Using the material consciousness, planning, working, doing experiments and learning from there, they cannot do it. But unconscious particle can do it. And this language is imposed on us, and we are conditioned using this language in our daily life so that we should not refer our existence to God, to the Creator, and be thankful to Him. But what they want, we have to be thankful to the thing themselves. As this text said, as you mentioned, this one. They become lovers of this cleanliness and perfect creation and beauty of the world. They worship it itself. They never think about the agent. Who did it? Who is making this? They worship matter. That's why they are called materialist people. Just I wanted to draw our attention to this drastic problem. Okay, we can continue, inshallah, if you don't mind. If anybody
Oh,
else has
yes.
any more comments,
Now I can continue.
okay.
Bismillah. And as the stars, elements, minerals, and plants obey the command to clean, all particles and atoms obey it. They pay attention to cleanliness with the astonishing upheavals of change and transformation. They never congregate anywhere unnecessarily and get in the way. If they do become soiled, they are quickly cleaned. They are impelled by a hand of wisdom to acquire the cleanest, neatest, and most shining states and the most beautiful, pure, and subtle forms. And then you have another insertion in the text. This is probably also from AI, correct?
Maybe let's see.
I think so.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
When a star or galaxy dies, they are cleaned away by sending them away from the universe rather than scattering the debris of all these huge beings into space and dirtying it. Oh, I see.
This is my
This is your explanation. I understand. People see that they are neatly disposed of and name it, going into black hole without realizing it is a deliberate organization.
and creation. There will be creation
Deliberate creation. You put, yeah,
and
and
organization.
organization.
Yeah. So we have to realize that, inshallah. I think these are the things that when we read the text, we understand, don't we? That is what is happening in the universe in front of our eyes. But even and the germs die, they are used. They are used. They are not wasted, but cleaned. The universe is always kept clean and tidy, neat. Now they say the galaxies die, oh, okay, and go into black hole. It means they don't know. Who is doing that? Who is cleaning all the dirt? Dead galaxies are scattered around. Can you imagine? So this is a perfect arrangement, but they put a name on it and they said, this is how it is. Go into black hole. Who's arranging that? What is black hole you call the black hole? It's a perfect arrangement, cleaning, making perfect, making the creation, the existence perfect, so that it become muqaddas, sacred. The universe is sacred. The same word, Quddus, muqaddas, the same word. The universe is sacred. Why? It is so pure. When doing the most essential mission, performing this mission, and declaring the absolute qualities of its creator, introducing its creator to us. That is why the universe is sacred. We shouldn't dirty the universe. We shouldn't dirty ourselves. We shouldn't dirty our minds. our feelings. We have to accompany this creation, and we have to become muqaddas, sacred beings for ourselves. Of course, our creation is sacred, but through using our free will, we can dirty it, like those people, as you said, impose this materialist, atheist ideas and explaining everything with atheistic languages and brainwashing the innocent young new generations. And this is a kind of really unforgivable crime that the Quran is threatening them, reminding them what they are doing. We should know that the Quran is not really threatening the people in the street. These people are the subject that the Quran is really talking about. We should say that the Quran's language is really appropriately used because crime is immense. How many people are indoctrinated with this ideology? How these people are going to be facing in their next creation, and God says, whatever you deserve, I will give it to you. Nothing more, nothing less. This is a big responsibility. All right.
I actually want to also add that
Yeah.
hand in hand with the secularism is materialism.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is if you don't see that the universe is sacred and that
Mm.
each creature is sacred, you're going to not only dirty it, you're going to abuse the sacredness for your own end, um, extracting as much as you can from the earth for your own material benefit, your own greed, so that the earth becomes dirtied with consumerism, which is people don't stop to think about how unsacred that act is. Consuming to a point where the there's going to be an imbalance. Actually, there already is an imbalance between what we need and what the earth can provide. But this idea of sacredness is almost rarely talked about, but it's at the root of the problem because we want to do is consume endlessly. It's so abusive.
Yeah. It is encouraged.
Absolutely encouraged.
Yeah. Everywhere.
I don't know if you remember what President Bush said after 9/11, something basically to the effect of just go out and shop, go shopping. No, he did. I mean, among other things, but that stuck out in my mind. You know, just keep up your normal life of consuming. It will be fine.
You will be fine. Yes, consuming. We have to watch out. We are really manipulated. We are the people in general. Inshallah, not you are. Yeah.
But in general, yes. And Fatu has a hand raised.
Yeah. Fatu has an hand up. Yes, Fatu, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I just wanted to add a comment to the conversation because something I've also been thinking about And to Anne's point, I think it comes with the false promises that either people around us or society imposes on us. So I do think we have this inclination to find ways to complete ourselves, right? Either through consumerism or even in the name of like technology, like getting new, like with AI and all of this, like I guess there's just all these false promises that okay, when we get the next thing, it will fulfill us. And I do think that spiritual thirst is showing up in ways in our community, but because perhaps our ways of thinking from school or other places is kind of turned into this like I worship the universe rather than I worship the creator, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's when we relate to like, oh, the plants are doing this, or nature is so beautiful, or I don't know. So I think we can recognize that, but because of the way we've been attributing the sacredness to the creation itself, it still leads us to like a false sense of worship, if that makes sense. So it's very interesting. But that was my comment.
correct, correct. I'm very conscious of what is happening, even in the Muslim communities. All the religious activities are changing the direction to helping bodily needs of people. It is correct, I mean, to help people who are suffering from some lack of essential of life, their bodily life, but no one is really aware of what is going on in education system where our new generations, the new generations of the people altogether are indoctrinated with this completely illogical ideology. And we are not aware of it. We are not really. The shift is going on, I feel that, from really feeding, supporting the spiritual needs of people from bodily needs of people. But the value of spiritual satisfaction cannot be compared with bodily satisfaction. It is temporary. But spiritual needs are infinite. So whether you acknowledge the creator or deny it and be an ungrateful person and die accordingly, how can you going to face with a healthy body but spiritual corruption? So we have to watch out. There are many people. I see that the organizations are like mushrooms, are growing new organization. Why? To help somebody there, to help somebody there. What? Money. For what? Food or some essential, bodily essential needs. Correct. But how about the spiritual needs of your own children? And everywhere, the new generations are the productions of the secularist ideologies and becoming consumerism of this new society. And supporting this ideology without realizing this contradiction, I think we should wake up to this contradiction and take action. Look, okay, you take care of the bodily needs, but I mean, at least one person will take care of the bodily needs, and at least 1 out of 10 must be for bodily needs. It needs to be taken care of, but spiritual needs, 9 of them out of 10 must be employed to satisfy the spiritual needs of human beings and become aware of this education system, how corrupt and dictatorship this education system is. They talk about freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of thought, civil rights. But I cannot teach my children that this stupid idea that the unconscious matter is doing all these wonderful actions universe-wise by themselves accidentally happened to me. The most disgusting ideology. And we are not taking, have you seen an organization saying that free our minds from people under the attack of secularism, secularist education? Have you ever seen an organization among Christians, among Muslims, among Jews, among believers in God? This most essential area is left empty. That is why I am trying to wake up, at least by myself. I say, look, everywhere is consumerism. You go on anything, even the AIs are working for commercial purposes, so that they will collect information. Accordingly, they will introduce the advertisements to your interest area. It is consumerism. Go and do shop. Eh? And as you said,
I mean, yeah, I mean, it was incredible because here is a nation on its knees, so to speak,
yeah,
and that's the advice that we're given
yeah,
from the president of the United States.
yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how you. It's really, really hard to push against that, but we have to in our own way. We have to.
So we are talking about freedom. Huh?
Freedom.
You are free to
Right.
deny God. You are not free to question matter to be a God.
That's right. You're not free to question.
Yeah, that is the contradiction of our age.
Yes, it is.
At least our friends here, we should wake up to this reality, inshallah. I think the time is up, and I'm
Yes, it is.
excited this kind of subjects, and also it is time up now. We have to stop, and inshallah, next Monday, Tuesday, next Saturday, we will have this spiritual banquet, inshallah. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Next Saturday, yes. Shall we stop here? Okay, let's stop here. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة